Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while, but we are finally getting things going.
Hi.
And this is the official VWU Prestige prediction panel. I am, of course, MTBHKK here with the legendary Eddie Mack and, of course, VPOC.
Hi, everybody.
Ratings.
And we have got ourselves a legendary lineup of dream matches for you. But we're not going to cover all of them because, let's face it, you guys don't want to sit here for all that, for us talking about the whole thing. You guys want to get to Prestige. And that is something we are going to get to later this week.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
And VPOC, speaking of yourself, you will, of course, be at Prestige in a match taking on the New Guard.
That's right. It's going to be my team, which is going to consist of myself, the TPGW Euro-American champion, Zaya Steele, and the UCWL Tag Team Champions, the Big Bang Theory, Leonard Hofstadter, and Sheldon Cooper. And we're going to go in there, and we're going to fucking kick the New Guard's asses. That's my prediction right there. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna fucking. And I'm gonna plant my foot up every single one of their asses.
God, tell them how you really feel.
Well, with that being said, VPOC.
No. The New Guard. I am sick and tired of these New Guard assholes thinking they can run amok in TPGW, and finally someone's gonna stand up to them.
Eddie Mack?
That's me and my team.
Eddie Mack, your opinion.
Word, but VPOC, real talk though, can you trust Zaya Steele?
I would like to think I can.
I mean, because I think that is going to be the X factor in this match. I know what you're referring to, Eddie. That Zaya Steele apparently, for some odd reason, does not get along with Leonard and Sheldon, right? Is that what you're trying to say? Well, that too, but I'm talking about Zaya Steele and you.
That's right. Recent things in DCA have certainly caused a tension between you two.
I mean, we know the New Guard. They're a unit. They've been together for quite some time, but
not to mention the fact that there's some pretty hefty gold between them. Sergeant Ghost isn't winning anything, but Patrick Wolf, longest reigning TPGW Cruiserweight Champion, current Tag Team Champions with Taylor Blaze, who in himself is the former WFS Renegade Champion. And, of course, Tony Gordon, former WFS World Champion, former TPGW World Champion.
Yeah, I know that. But my team also as a matter of fact, all four members of my team are current champions as well. You know that, right? Including myself.
How about you, Hulk?
I am currently the Shock Nation Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Champion.
Oh. Hell, VPOC. But yeah, I think the cohesion between the cohesion on your team is going to be the X factor in this match. Can the four of you trust each other and get along for this common? I mean, you have common enemies, sure. I mean, that will get you so far.
Well, I know for a fact I could trust Leonard and Sheldon.
Right, but can you trust Zaya? And can Zaya trust the Big Bang Theory?
And you.
I'm sure Zaya could be mature and put his thing with the Big Bang Theory on hold. And as far as what's between me and him and DCA, that's DCA business. Well, we got to take care of business. We got to take care of TPGW business, and we're going to do that at Prestige.
Well, for your sake, I hope you're right.
Well, with that also being said, we're going to go ahead and talk about another huge match that's coming up, and that is two different championships on the line in this match. Eddie Mack, I know you're looking forward to this match. The CCL World Championship and the XGWL World Championship on the line in the same match as Sherman Sampson defends against Gregory Black
and Trey Steele.
Now,
as the match is constructed, here's how it works. If it is a one-fall triple threat match, if Sherman Sampson wins, of course he retains both titles. If Gregory Black wins, he wins the CCL World title. If Trey Steele wins, he wins the XGWL Ultimate title.
Indeed, and the odds are certainly against Sherman, but there's not going to be any room for any possible team-ups in this because winner pretty much takes what they've always wanted.
There's been a long standing rivalry between Sherman Sampson and Gregory Black. It goes back 6 years at least, maybe longer than that, 6, 7, 8 years, something like that. It's been one of the most vicious rivalries in the history of virtual wrestling. And Trey Steele, I believe this will be his very first opportunity at the XGWL Ultimate title, and on a stage this big, I'm sure he's going to want to take advantage of that. But here's the thing. Sherman Sampson has been on the absolute run of his life. I think Sherman wins. I see the very awkward looks between you two.
I actually have to disagree with you there, Eddie. VPOC, what about you?
Well, I got to agree with Eddie that Sherman's been on the a tear in CCL since becoming the world champion,
and in XGWL. XGWL since winning the Ultimate title.
I've actually been in the ring with Trey Steele in DCA. Dude's mega strong. But with that said, I have a ton of respect for Gregory Black. Mainly dating back to when I first got into CCL. But that's a completely different story for another time. But if I had to pick somebody to win, I'm actually going to go with Black. I think Gregory Black is going to win and become the CCL World Champion again.
See, now, I'm the odd man out here because Trey Steele had to... Gregory Black, it's true he's accomplished a lot throughout his career, but this opportunity was mostly handed to him.
This is true.
Sherman Sampson, he's been on a roll, but you can only be on a roll for so long, whereas Trey Steele is in the prime of his career, and he just won a #1 contenders tournament to get this opportunity.
This is also true.
I think Trey Steele is going to take this all the way and become the XGWL World Champion.
I think I will say this. I will say this. Trey's the underdog in this match simply because he doesn't have the experience that Gregory Black has, that Sherman Sampson has. Combined between the two, well over a decade of experience in the ring, as Trey is, I think he's, I want to say about 4 or 5 years experience that Trey Steele has, and this is the biggest match that Trey has ever had in his career. Is it going to have butterflies? Are there going to be nerves? I will say this though. I got a feeling Trey's going to wrestle like his pants are on fire in this one, if you will.
That's very possible, Eddie, but... Well, Now that you see our official standings between each of these, and as Eddie will be right back, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next official match that we have to talk about. And that is, of course, an interpromotional championship match, as Matt Farrow will be defending the TPGW Triple Crown Championship against DCA star Zack Star, also WEDF star. VPOC?
Yes?
Your official opinion.
Well, let's see. We got Matt Farrow on one side, and we got Zack Star on the other. At Zack Star, of course, last season in DCA, he became the DCA World Champion. I think it was Zach Stoney beating that, right?
Possibly. But
yeah, on the other side, we got, Matt Farrow, who, of course, is the current Triple Crown Champion in TPGW. He's also the guy that was doing the super kick before the super kick became cool to do.
Same could be said for Zack Star.
Yeah, that is true. I forgot he does do the super kick as well, but yeah, if I had to pick between the two, I think I would like to say Matt Farrow has more to gain in this match than Zack Star does. Because if Matt Farrow wins this match, it'll put him on the map. So I'm going to say Matt Farrow actually pulls off the win and retains the Triple Crown title.
Well, while I would certainly like to sign Zack Star to TPGW, it can certainly be said that Matt Farrow certainly does have a lot to gain. Like you said, Matt Farrow has so much to gain, but think about how much he has to lose. I mean, he already lost twice to Malik Brown, once at Caw All-Stars, and once during Elimination Chamber Week. Matt Farrow has come back from that with a brand new attitude, a brand new look on life, and while he certainly was able to beat Tommy Ventura, Zack Star is not Tommy Ventura. Zack Star is a completely different entity. And it's a very difficult thing to call down the middle, because between Matt Farrow's determination and Zack Star's experience, that's essentially what this comes down to. Determination versus experience. And Zack Star beats Matt Farrow in that experience factor 110%.
He does. He does. But I still stand by my opinion. I think Matt Farrow's going to somehow pull off the win.
Well, only time will tell. And while we're on the subject of TPGW interpromotional title matches, VPOC, I think since we're getting most of the majority of the big TPGW matches out of the way, let's talk about the TPGW World Championship match.
Yes.
Duncan Vermill to defend against Skeletor from UCWL.
Yes.
Now, you and I have gone back and forth on this over and over again. But VPOC,
Yeah, we have.
I really hate to say it to you, but Skeletor doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell of beating Duncan.
Do you have any idea who you're talking about, MTV?
Do you have any idea who Skeletor's going up against? A man who, since he's come back from injury, has decimated every single person in his path.
Yeah,
and what has Skeletor done in UCWL lately?
Well, let's see. Skeletor did make it to the finals of the Cyberspace Championship tournament before he eventually lost to Luffy, but let's not forget Luffy actually had help in that match in the form of Jack. But of course, Skeletor
of course, Skeletor. He did eliminate Duncan Vermille in the TPGW Royal Rumble.
Yes, in the Royal Rumble with 10 other guys who were beating down on Duncan beforehand. My point being is that when it comes to a one-on-one situation, Duncan is extremely difficult to defeat. Now, that's not saying Duncan needs to take Skeletor lightly. He is 100% a beast just as much as Duncan is. However, the difference between Duncan and Skeletor is that when it came down to Skeletor and Luffy, Skeletor came up short. When it came down to Duncan Vermille and Daniel Stone, when it came down to Duncan Vermille and Kevin Cash during Elimination Chamber Week, Duncan decimated him. When it came down to Duncan Vermille and Daniel Stone at Revolution, Duncan took 86 German suplexes, kicked out at 1, and proceeded to win the match. When it came down to Duncan Vermille and Kevin Cash for the World Championship, well, we see who the World Champion is now. Duncan is more dangerous than ever before, and Skeletor is going to get his ass handed to him.
You may think that, but yeah, you're underestimating Skeletor. This is a guy who is pretty much. Well, yeah, I believe he did conquer Attorney, I believe, at one point. If my memory may be a little joggy on the He-Man saga. And he has fought, and he has actually fought He-Man several times, and Duncan's just as strong as He-Man. So yeah, I think you may think Skeletor, you may think Skeletor is going to get his ass handed to him, but Skeletor is going to bring the fight, and he's going to show Duncan he's not a pushover. And I think you're going to be looking at a new TPGW World Champion in Skeletor at the end of the night.
I, honest to God, have to 100% disagree with that, but with that being said, there's more interpromotional matches to come with that, VPOC, and let's get into the DCA side of things and talk about the Pure Championship match. It's essentially the Streak versus the Experience. Aaron Anderson versus El Navino.
Well, let's see. We got Aaron Anderson.
Well, first of all, before we continue, Mr. Zahia Morgan has joined us here on the Prediction Show.
Hey Zahia. Glad you could join us.
Yeah. Keep your shirts on. I'm here.
Well, nonetheless, Zahia, we were just predicting the Pure Championship match at Prestige between Aaron Anderson and El Navino.
Oh, that's an easy one. Aaron Anderson.
I'm not so sure.
What makes you say Aaron Anderson's going to win, Zahia?
Look, the man's been on a complete roll as of late. No one's been able to stop him. He's undefeated. You can't take that title. That title is literally a part of him now, all right? You know, Aaron Anderson might be the most unstoppable champion in all of virtual wrestling today. So I don't see anyone stopping him anytime soon.
Well,
he's the Iron Man for a reason.
Well, the same could be said for El Navino. He is one of the most unbeatable opponents in the history of virtual wrestling. Look at what he's accomplished over in AWAC.
Yeah, he has held. How many times has he held their world title?
A lot.
Well, he's facing an entirely different animal in Aaron Anderson. All right, because when that title is on the line, that is when Aaron Anderson is at his most dangerous.
And let's not forget, Anderson also doesn't need to be pinned or submitted in order to lose. Let's not forget that Aaron Anderson doesn't have to beat, pin, or submit El Navino. He could just
Anderson.
run down the clock. Ah, perfect. Eddie Mack, Aaron Anderson versus
Anderson. That's my prediction.
Anderson. All right. Well, with that being said, since Zahaya's here, let's go ahead and move on to the ZCW World Championship match.
Plus, he wants to prove that, he wants to be. He has targeted. He has targeted the DCA World Championship since the beginning of DCA's third season. He hasn't, blatantly gone after the champion, so to speak, but he has said he wants to be the DCA World Champion.
That's true. And like I said, speaking of world champions and with Zahaya being here, ZCW World Championship. Zahaya, I think you can go ahead and talk about this. Luka Khan versus Okada.
I'm just everybody just see the time now. This is what he talks about.
I know. I'm trying to because.
Yeah, he didn't want to ramp up there.
Oh boy.
He's trying to contain his excitement, people. He's excited.
Luka Khan, even though I don't like his methods and how he goes about his business in ZCW, can't deny that ever since the past 2 years that he's been in my company, he has just shot up faster than anyone could have probably. He wasn't even there at day one. I mean, you talk about guys like Zaya Steele and Xander. I mean, Luka Khan pretty much came out of nowhere and took ZCW by storm. So, and let's not also forget, his two partners in the oppression in Micah, who always seem to come to play. However, I've been told that won't be the case because, if memory serves me right, Luka Khan has decided to come to New York by himself. No oppression, no Micah has been spotted with him ever since he left Cincinnati. Now, with that said, and with him just now becoming ZCW World Champion, this is going to be his first defense of the title. And he's going up against quite possibly the best professional wrestler on God's green earth. The current 700-plus day reigning IWGP heavyweight champion, Kazuchika Okada. I mean, if he wants to prove himself as world champion, this is how he does it. He's got to beat Okada, because if he does, not only will that solidify himself as the top guy in ZCW, but he'll also be the second person ever to hold a victory over Okada in ZCW. So I'm not entirely sure about this, but if I had to go with the pick, I'm gonna have to go with Luka Khan, considering I just think he's going to try anything and everything in his power to win that match, even though he doesn't have Micah or the oppression with him.
Eddie Mack, your official opinion.
I'm going to keep it brief. I think Okada takes the ZZW World Title belt back.
All right. VPOC.
Well, I gotta agree with Eddie. Okada's gonna get the belt back because Okada's been, like I said, like Zahaya said before, he's the current IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He's been champion for over 700 days. I believe he's now the longest reigning IWGP Heavyweight Champion of all time.
I think he is too, but I can check.
No, he is. It's been confirmed.
The guy has been friggin' super glued to that belt for almost 2 years now.
It's easy to be super glued to that belt when you only defend it like once every other month or something like that.
But still, my money's on Okada.
Cough, Brock Lesnar, cough.
Well, it's come down with with yours truly here. I'm gonna have to agree with Eddie and VPOC as well. I think Okada's got the experience, he's got the momentum, and he's got pretty much everything over Khan, especially if Khan's by himself. If Luka Khan can pull it out, I honest to God think it would be an upset.
By the way, a couple of nuggets here. As of the day of we are recording this, it is May 24, 2018. Today is day number 1,000 for Kazuchika Okada as IWGP Heavyweight Champion if we combine all four of his reigns.
Jesus Christ.
It's on day 703.
Damn.
He also, by the way, he also holds the record for most successful IWGP title defenses with 12.
And would you also believe me if I said that man is only 30 years old?
That's the scary part, kids.
That is insane to think about.
It is. It really is.
Indeed. But we have to move on from a ZCW World Championship match to an interpromotional match. And Eddie Mack, I believe you and I may hold two different opinions on this. It's TPGW versus CCL, CJ Hawkins versus Chris Knight.
Yeah, we probably will hold different opinions on this. And this August, he's an absolute legend in the world of virtual wrestling. Anybody who's been around the game knows who he is, knows what he's capable of. He's been a champion everywhere he is. And I know the term dream matchup is quite a lot, but I think this is a dream match. Yeah, I know it's hard to not show my quote CCL bias here. He's got something to prove here in this match, and I got a feeling he's going to win.
Sorry about that. You were cutting out for a second there. Who'd you say had to prove something?
Chris Knight.
Ah.
Yeah, he was the CCL World Champion for about 4 weeks, and he lost it in his first defense, and some would say it's a bit of a downturn since he lost the world title, and I think Knight he's got something to prove. He needs this, I think. So I'm gonna go with Chris Knight.
Well, I can say the same thing for CJ. Ever since he's come back to TPGW, couldn't defeat Daniel Stone for the World Championship, couldn't defeat Malik Brown at Revolution 3. CJ Hawkins, this is his first match back since Revolution 3, and I think he needs to prove that he still has it, which is why I believe CJ is going to come out on top, because much like Chris Knight, it's a battle between two men that have nothing left to lose. But at the end of the day, when it's that big match, when it's that big stipulation, CJ Hawkins is the man to come out on top. He's done it before, and I think at Prestige he'll do it again. Zahia Morgan, your opinion?
I think I'm going to have to go with Chris Knight on this. Because, like you said, this is CJ Hawkins' first match back since, Revolution?
Indeed.
So he's going in here with a lot of ring rust, let me tell you that. And from what I've seen, Chris Knight, oh boy, I've seen that man go to some desperate lengths before, but I think at this point in his career, he's probably the most desperate he's ever been. So desperate men do desperate things, and I think Chris Knight gonna pull out the win no matter what it takes.
Alrighty then, VPOC.
Yeah, Zahaya's right. Chris Knight is desperate. He is a desperate man, and he's willing to do desperate things, like sneak attacking people on the way to the ring, like he did to me in PCW. So with that, I'm going with CJ Hawkins.
Well, that's something you're gonna have to take up with Chris Knight. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I'm going with CJ Hawkins because I'm still mad at what Chris Knight did.
That assault's gonna kill you one day, Bebop. I'm just letting you know.
I don't care. I'll deal with it when the time comes.
You might. Yeah, I mean, I'm speaking for your health, man.
But with that being said, speaking of VPOC's biased, we do have a kind of a big match, and this is going to main event night 1. UCWL's cyberspace champion Monkey D. Luffy will be taking on the legendary Evan O'Shea.
Why are you laughing, Eddie?
I think you know, and I'm not going to speak on behind the scenes matters. But be that as it may, his first match back in quite a while, right? It's been quite a while since he's been in the ring.
He's been off and on in WEDF, but pretty much, yeah.
I get that, yes, ring rust is a possibility, but once Evan gets the butterflies out, and once he realizes the gravity of the situation, the platform that he's on, I think Evan O'Shea's experience is going to shine through. And with all due respect to Monkey D. Luffy, who let's be honest, he's been a hell of a cyberspace champion, but I think Evan pulls it off in his comeback match.
Zahaya, your opinion.
Monkey D. Luffy. And mostly that's because, I've seen Evan O'Shea. I've seen his work for many, many years. And there was a time where I believed, and I believe everyone believed, that he was the future of virtual wrestling. He was going to be a top guy somewhere very soon. However, it seems during the years, as the years have passed, ring rust doesn't even cover it. He's completely cooled down. Like you said, he's been on and off again with WEDF. He hasn't been featured in a prominent position in virtual wrestling in years. I mean, this guy has basically been a guy who has just been... I don't think he's all there. And I don't know if he's gonna be all there come Prestige either. Whereas you look at Monkey D. Luffy, who's on top of the UCWL world right now, defending that cyberspace championship like a true champion, like a fighting champion, fighting tooth and nail every single time he has to put that title on the line. I don't think Evan O'Shea has it in to come away with the victory. I think this is going straight to Monkey D. Luffy.
And even though I probably already know his opinion on this match, VPOC.
Here's what I think. Not only does Evan O'Shea have ring rust, but he's not even taking this match seriously. Do you see the stupid comments he's made about Luffy and trying to do that horrible, disgusting 4 kids One Piece rap? He's not taking this match seriously. And I'm sure you guys were there. I know Zahaya was there. You saw Luffy's match with Kyo Kusanagi in Unbound, right?
I absolutely did.
Even though the match that Luffy fought to the point where he could not continue.
And the same can be said for Keo. But yeah, they went 45 grueling minutes, and they couldn't finish the match because they were just too exhausted. That's how far Luffy is willing to go to win a match. And so yeah, my opinion, Luffy takes this matchup and shows Evan O'Shea to take him seriously.
Probably not just him. Probably take, this. If he is willing, if he's going to come back, and if he is going to do this thing, he has got to take the rest of this seriously. Not this just this one match. If he's serious about this comeback, he's got to prove it in this match and every other match going forward. Because if he doesn't, he is going to be eaten alive, and I can guarantee you that will be a fact.
Well, and this is the part where the opinions get split down the middle. Vipak, you and Zahaya both don't see Evan O'Shea as taking this seriously, but here's what Evan O'Shea does. Evan O'Shea is the type of man to act like he's not taking things seriously, to mock his opponent, to do whatever he can to get inside his opponent's mind, because that's what Evan O'Shea does. He's got the experience for that. That's something that doesn't go away, that sense to get inside your opponent's mind, which I think Evan has. I think Evan's gotten inside Luffy's head. But more importantly, Evan O'Shea has something to prove against Monkey D. Luffy. Like you said, Evan O'Shea's been gone a long time. Evan has to prove that he can still go, that he can still prove himself in that ring. Because when you're gone for this long, you've got something to prove. When you're not you for as long as you are, you've got to lay the chips down, because if Luffy does beat Evan O'Shea, it may actually tarnish his career because of all the stuff that Evan O'Shea has said. Which is why I think Evan O'Shea is going to find some way to come out on top in this match. No offense to Luffy, he is absolutely 100% a decent competitor. But Evan's probably going to be the one to come out on top in this. Because he's probably in Luffy's head. But with that being said, we have to start moving on. We've still got a few matches left to cover. And I think the number one match to cover next would more than likely be the DCA World Championship match. Now, I say that DCA World Championship match because it's not going to be as featured as the Wildcats Championship match, which we'll get to later. But let's go ahead and talk about this one. Calvin Richardson.
Yeah, I believe it's Calvin Richardson against Casey Gordon, isn't it?
Yes, Casey Gordon.
Yeah. We are. I can already predict what Zahaya is going to say.
Zahaya?
Get it.
Yeah, get it out, Zahaya.
Look, I understand that Casey Gordon used to be the world champion. He used to be the destroyer. Hell, he still is the destroyer after what we saw in that tournament. No denying any of that.
And what he did to Tyson Jackson Revelations.
Yeah. So clearly, there is something still there. There's something still there inside of Casey Gordon that wants to be a champion, who feels like he needs to prove himself, that he can do things without, what were they called? It's been gone so long, I forget what.
Without the blacklist?
Yes, the blacklist. Thank you very much. Needs to prove that he can do stuff without the blacklist. But here's the thing. Calvin Richardson, he's been on a whole different level. He's been on a whole different level from any point of his career. All right? He's the knockout artiste for a reason. He knocks people out just like that. You won't even see it coming. He could hit you with that elbow in your back of your head, on the side of your head, right in front of your eyes. He doesn't give a crap. Because it all ends the same, with his opponents lying flat on their back, shoulders pinned to the mat, 1, 2, 3. Because Calvin Richardson is just on a completely different level from anyone on the Takedown roster, than anyone on the virtual wrestling list, because he is on the top of the food chain. All right, he's the leader. He is leading the Takedown division into newer and greater Gordon anymore. I just don't think that's a part of him anymore. I just don't think he can do it. So with that said, Casey Gordon, I'm sorry, but the Destroyer must fall to the knockout artiste.
I'm going to go ahead and pass along what you just said to Casey. And should Casey win the DCA World title, I'm going to make sure that he comes after you. And I'm going to leave it as that. First off, how dare you doubt Casey Gordon? I mean, shame on you. Calvin Richardson is just getting to what Casey Gordon has been. That is one of the most dominant competitors in the history, not just of the Destiny Championship Alliance, but of virtual wrestling. I respect Calvin Richardson as a competitor. I give him a smidge of, and I give him a smidge, and let's be honest, that's more than I've given him in recent months. I give him a smidge of respect for what he has done. Yes, he has been a fighting champion. I give him that much respect. I will give him that much, but that's all I will give him. I respect him as a competitor, but I don't. And I'll tell you why. Calvin Richardson, he had the tools to do it on his own. He didn't need the. I'll be honest with you. He doesn't need the backing of Balalaika. He's always had it in him. Maybe it took Balalaika to bring it out of him. But here's the thing. Why couldn't he bring it out? Why he couldn't bring it out himself? Why did it take someone else at this table, looking at you, VPOC, making a fool of himself?
Oh, God.
Yes, I'm blaming you. It is your fault. Everyone knows it is your fault. Why did it take VPOC making a fool out of Calvin Richardson, one of the toughest men in all virtual wrestling, making a fool of him to motivate him? I mean, where was his motivation before? Okay? Has Calvin Richardson done it by himself since DCA World Champion? Absolutely. But I got a weird feeling that Calvin Richardson will need help if he wants to knock off the Destroyer Casey Gordon. Could he do it by himself? Sure he could. Will he do it by himself? I seriously doubt it.
You say these things. Okay.
No, I'm not done. I know what you're about to ask. Am I picking Calvin Richardson to retain the title? The answer is no. Going to win.
Well, with that being said, VPOC.
I have been reminded of that stupid prank from Balalaika for the past year.
And you'll keep being reminded of it. Not so much from her, but definitely from me.
But with that being said,
first
of all, VPOC, first of all, I have to cut you off there because this isn't about the prank. Okay, this isn't about that. This is about Calvin Richardson versus Casey Gordon.
Yes, I know. I was getting to that. If you let me finish speaking, do I blame myself for why Calvin Richardson is the way he is today? Maybe a little, because quite frankly, I had nothing to do with that whole thing. That was UCWL. That was the sound director at UCWL. He decided to do that, but fine. If Calvin wants to blame me for it, so be it. I've been in the ring with Calvin Richardson. He elbowed me in the face. It doesn't feel good. And for that, I hope Casey Gordon kicks his ass. So my vote goes to Casey Gordon.
Wow. Wow. The bias again.
Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and I'm going to give you an unbiased opinion. And this is going to sound very, very strange coming from me, but this is completely unbiased. When it comes down to Calvin Richardson and Casey Gordon, you have to look at who has the momentum right now.
They both kind of do.
Yeah.
And I almost hate to admit this, but Calvin has a little bit more. Calvin Richardson, since this thing, well, I certainly do agree with Eddie saying, where's his motivation been this whole time? The fact of the matter is, now he is motivated. And now he has everything to prove against Casey. This is the end-all or be-all. If he can't beat Casey at Prestige, that's it. That's it for Calvin Richardson. And I don't think this is it yet for Calvin Richardson. I believe that this may be the moment when Calvin Richardson proves what kind of a champion he actually is. Because at the end of the day, Calvin has been winning. Like you said, VPOC, he knocked you out clean and pinned you 1, 2, 3. And all biasm aside, I certainly don't agree with his methods. I certainly don't agree with how he won the championship. I don't agree with the fact that he sides himself with someone like Balalaika. But at the end of the day, he's got the motivation. And I think he's going to find some twisted, unbelievable way to come out as the champion still. Because that just seems to be the trajectory that this is taking. Whereas Casey Gordon, while he certainly has been winning his matches, let's take a look back at Revelations where he couldn't defeat someone like Tyson Jax, who had all the momentum. Now you've got someone like Calvin Richardson who's got all the momentum. We're in that situation again. And I do believe Casey Gordon is going to come up short. But with that being said,
I will say this should be a hell of a horse battle.
Oh yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
If you're into horse battles, that's gonna be the match for you kids.
And speaking of hoss battles, let's look at the other side of the gender spectrum here, because we have Celeste Amira versus Diane.
You mean Deanne?
Deanne, thank you.
Tomato.
And guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw my prediction down. The future's now, and Celeste is coming out on top.
Yeah, I cannot disagree with that. I mean, Deanne is one of the toughest competitors today, but Celeste is just something special. I can't. It's one of those things I can't explain unless you see it. I like Celeste in this match.
VPOC?
Well,
first of all, I just have to point out that it's for the DCA Goddess Championship.
Not a real title.
yeah, isn't that?
Well, it's real enough.
It's
real enough for Deanne. That's for sure.
It's the belt that Celeste stole.
I heard about that. She stole the Wildcats title and like the original Wildcats title and decided to make it her own or something.
Yes. She stole the Wildcats title belt and has since remade it in her own image, and that's called the DCA Goddess Championship. And yes, it is an unofficial championship as far as the Destiny Championship Alliance is concerned. But as far as Celeste Mira is concerned,
and as far as Deanne is concerned,
that is a belt, and that is a belt worth fighting for. And you're going to argue against that? I think not.
I'm not arguing against it, but if I had to pick someone, I've only seen maybe one match with Celeste Amir in it. I've seen a lot of Deanne's matches. She literally annihilated Reiko Hitamoto in ACW. So yeah, my pick goes to Deanne.
Zahaya, your opinion?
My opinion. Okay, my opinion is that this is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Why are we sanctioning this match? Why are we sanctioning this to be a title match? It's not even for an actual title. It's for a title that Celeste stole. Forget matches. She should be in jail right now.
Well, you got to talk to VWU prestige officials about that. I mean.
Oh, and trust me, there will be a lot of words. There will be a lot of words in person, in email, and text. You can guarantee there will be lots of words.
Well, Zahaya, you're going to get your chance because Celeste Amira has just walked into the room.
Oh, hey, Celeste, good to see you.
Good to see you, too. So exactly what words are going to be said?
Yeah, go ahead, Zahaya. Say what you want to say to her.
I made it very clear. I was going to say them to the people running the Prestige show. Not you, Miss Amir. Mira, Miss Celeste.
Goddess to you.
I'm sure you have more than a few. I'm sure you've had more than a few words to say to Celeste. I mean, she's right. She's right here.
I was just gonna.
Think up, Playboy.
I was just gonna make my prediction and said Celeste was gonna walk out with the Goddess title and that she was gonna totally retain over Deanne.
You knew.
That's what I was gonna say.
Why the fuck you?
On to the next one, please. MTV, move it on, please.
That's right. You be a good boy. You better keep your mouth trapped.
Celeste, since you're here, I know this is a bit irregular. I'm sure you have a prediction for versus Deanne, do you not?
Well, Celeste has unfortunately left us, but I can tell you that Celeste probably believes that she's going
to say
I believe.
She's a lot taller in person.
You did that. Right? You did that on purpose, you son of a bitch.
But more importantly, while the Goddess title may not officially be sanctioned yet by DCA, there is a title that is officially sanctioned by DCA, and that is, of course, the DCA Wildcats Championship. And oh my God, what a match we've got for it! Sakura Hagiwara defending against Sailor Moon.
Oh my God, that is...
Yeah. That's a hard one to choose.
Again, I know. Again, dream matches. It's a term that's tossed around a lot, but this, in every sense of the word, is a dream match.
And with that being said, Eddie, we have to point out one particular thing that is 100% true. It was Sakura who put out the challenge.
That's right.
I will say that Sakura has been on a quest to prove herself as the absolute best in women's virtual wrestling. This is sort of a clash of generations, and you can just tell in the words that she speaks and her actions. Sakura wants She wants to be the best. She wants to take on the best. She wants to beat the best. And she also most definitely wants Reiko Hinamura.
I think that's the main reason she's actually challenging Sailor Moon to this match to begin with.
Yeah, she's been champion for 5 months. She has her eyes set on Reiko, and for Sakura, Sailor Moon is not just a huge challenge, but she's a step on the staircase that leads to her. Some have to believe at this point destined match with Reiko, especially if Sakura wins this. Which, with that being said, I have to point this out. It's gonna go to Sakura. It has to. There is no other way for this to go other than for Sakura to come out on top in this, because with the momentum Sakura's had, look at the challenges she's survived in the face of women like Balalaika.
Oh my God.
Zahaya, look at the odds Balalaika has put against Sakura. Fatal 4-way title defenses. Look the stuff with Selena Zeta that's happened. Now I'm not. That's not a dog on Balalaika as a person. That's fact. The fact that Sakura has had some of the most intense title defenses since she's won that title, and it's only been December since she won it.
I'll let you finish your point in a moment, MTB. But I do want to mention this. Yes, she said it wants to face any and every virtual wrestling legend out there, leading up to Reiko. She wants to prove she's the absolute best, period, paragraph, in the story. But Sakura, if she gets through Prestige, she has to defend that title against 5 other women in an elimination chamber match at Wildcat Death and Defiance.
Same said for Sailor Moon.
If she gets, if same is true if Sailor Moon wins. Again, it's like I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish your point.
Well, that is my point. It's just like these are the odds that Sakura faces, and Sailor Moon is the first challenge that Sakura's had that has been of her own accord. This is the challenge that Sakura wanted. And I think she's ready to meet it head on. I think she's ready.
That championship means that much to her. She didn't want to wait for a challenger. She called out a challenger. This is what this journey has been for her. She wants to prove that she is the pinnacle of women's wrestling, that she wants to basically erase every negative label out there about her. She wants there to be she wants to be like absolutely no maybes or whatnot. None of that matters. She wants to be the absolute best. She wants to challenge herself. And I will say this: and you know what? That Wildcats locker room. I will say this. I think they're following her. That fire that Sakura has shown, it is transferred throughout the entire Wildcats locker room. I think they're feeling the words that are coming out of her mouth. And that Wildcats championship, she wants to prove that it's the pinnacle championship, the most prestigious championship in all women's virtual wrestling. And that's because she holds it.
Deepak, Zahaya, your all opinions?
Look here. All right, I've said it time and time again. Sakura Hagiwara, strongest in the world, current Wildcats champion. There have been times people have doubted her, and they have doubted and doubted and doubted. And yet somehow, some way, she keeps pulling it off. And she does it again. And she does it again. And she proves all the doubters wrong. When do the doubts stop? when do the doubters finally stop doubting? I think it starts with this match right here with Sailor Moon, the woman who has been on the top of the very list of women's virtual wrestling, Sailor Moon. I think that Sakura Hagiwara, I believe in my mind, the second best women's virtual wrestler on the Wildcats wrestler. And even that being at second best proves that she is still top tier in the women's wrestling division. So I'm giving it to Sakura Hagiwara.
And VPOC?
All right, yeah, all this talk about Sakura. Let's not also forget a few facts about Sailor Moon. She's as far as I remember, she's still undefeated in UCCW, right?
She is.
Let's not also forget she had a hell of a Glamour X title match with Reiko Hinamoto back in Animania. I believe it was Animania 4 that happened.
Yep.
So, yeah.
A career in VWF and in NGW.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know Sakura's been probably one of the best women's wrestlers out there in virtual wrestling today, but let's not count out what Sailor Moon has done too. So, I'm gonna have to agree with you guys. I will say I think Sakura's gonna win, but Sailor Moon is not gonna go down easy.
I will say this though. Two things. One, it took 2 tries for Sailor Moon to beat Reiko Hinamoto.
Actually, no. No, she beat her on try 1, and then it was Reiko that took 2 tries.
Right. And I'm sure Sakura wants to do it in 1. Zaya. That Sakura Hagiwara is the second best on the Wildcats roster, even though she is the Wildcats champion. Why number 2? Yeah, because you said Sakura was the second. You said Sakura Hagiwara was the second best woman on the Wildcats roster. Why number 2, even though she's the Wildcats champion?
Because Aubrey Williams exists.
I believe
that won't be the case. Well, one Aubrey. What is Aubrey won besides the tag team championships with My Mimi, which by the way she betrayed the one person who trusts her the most, and besides that, I'm sorry Zahaya, but Aubrey's going to learn the hard way that she's not the best when Reiko's gets done with her at Prestige.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so cute. It's funny that you think that, but I'm going to let you have it.
Besides, Zahaya, the power of love compels you.
Oh, for God's sakes. Look, all right, my Mimi is... Look, she's not... She's gone, all right, guys? She's gone. She's not going to be on Aubrey's level, okay? So you can stop your little jokes now. The games are over. It's serious time. And Aubrey, unlike my Mimi, has decided to get serious.
How's Selena, by the way, Zaya?
Why would I know that?
Let's move on. We have more.
Yeah, Eddie's right. Eddie's right. And while we're talking about serious DCA women's feuds, there's only one match that probably goes more deeper into this than the one I'm about to talk about. But we'll talk about that when we're starting to wrap up the show because the match we have to talk about right now is Amber versus Revy.
Ooh.
That one's been like what, a year in the making, something like that.
Yup.
And let's not forget that Amber's never been pinned or submitted.
For sure.
And
she did. Yeah, she wasn't pinned or submitted to lose the.
And I think
she has been pinned. in like a year and a half.
And Eddie, I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I think it's time. I think Reby comes out on top in this. 1, 2, 3.
MCB, you are absolutely wrong. And this is not to question Revy's toughness, because she is absolutely one tough bitch. Okay, and I'm sure Revy's going to give it all she's got, but I think her emotions get in the way at the wrong time. And yes, I get that Revy's emotion is carried her to the fever tower, carried her to the brink of, carried her to a pretty damn successful career in virtual wrestling. I get all that.
It carried her to the TPGW Women's World Championship.
Exactly. Exactly. I get all that. You get someone as focused as Amber Stevens, as good as Amber Stevens, and a woman who has not been paid or made to submit in a year and a half. She's going to do everything she damn well can to protect that streak. I think Reby will have to bring Amber to the brink of death if she wants to defeat Amber. And with all due respect to Reby, I don't think she can do that. I think Amber wins.
Zahaya.
By the way, I should point this out before you go on making your picks. Amber is the CCL Women's Champion. That championship is not on the line in this match.
No, it is not. Zahaya.
Honestly, I just hope, well, first off, Amber is my pick to win this match, even though, honestly, I just hope those two just beat each other into unconsciousness.
Of course.
But let's not forget, the winner also goes to the Doomsday Chamber match for the Wildcats title at Wildcats Death and Defiance.
So high stakes in that match.
So, yeah, Amber wins. I honestly don't care what those two do to one another as long as they hurt each other. Because honestly, that is the only outcome that would make me happy.
Well, VPOC, your opinion.
I gotta agree with Eddie on this one. I think Amber's gonna take it.
Well, the match is certainly going to be probably the most brutal women's match on the card. And speaking of brutality, speaking of blood-spewing brutality...
But before I let you get to that, I'm going back to that, what I mentioned about her emotion. Is Reby more concerned about the match with Amber? And I'm pretty sure she is, but I'm pretty sure she's not going to tell you anything but that. But is Reby more concerned about Carmen? Carmen Cortez, by that name, Carmen Cortez, who was a member of the Running Poor Rebels, but Carmen has not been seen in a long time.
I think when it comes down to it, Eddie, Reby is not concerned about it because she knows that this isn't about Carmen. This is about her history with Amber and how she's wanted this match for so long. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. But, like I said, this is going to be an absolute brutal match. And speaking of blood-spewing brutality, we have the Battle Pro World Championship match. Vin Taylor versus James Dark.
Woo! Oh, Jesus.
So, I'm just going to point this out. Yeah, the Charles Manson of Virtual Wrestling is not stopping anytime soon. Vin Taylor's coming out in this.
You say... Oh, hold on. You say that, like... Do you not know who the hell James Dark is?
I know exactly who James Dark is, but I also know which horse to back right now.
Well, if you know anything about James Dark, then you should know that taking him lightly isn't the best thing for anyone.
Who said Vin Taylor's going to take him lightly?
No, I'm saying you're taking him lightly. You just straight up picked Vin Taylor like it was nothing.
Because I know what Vin Taylor's capable of.
And I know what James Dark is capable of. In fact, I know what both of them are capable of. look here. James Stark he's been around this business for many, many years. The man is a veteran through and through. He has seen and done some of the most horrific stuff you could ever imagine in virtual wrestling. Same goes for Vin Taylor. All right? So this isn't a simple who's going to win or who's going to lose type of match. This is who is honestly going to survive this match. Who is going to leave Prestige with their own 2 feet by their own will? Because I can guarantee you that is the only way this match ends. Not with a winner, not with a loser. To pick a survivor, I'm honestly going with James Stark.
Eddie?
Honestly, if I have to pick a survivor, I'm going with neither. Because I have a feeling those two are going to push each other. Not just to the point of exhaustion, but beyond that. Perhaps to the point, to the brink of, people, having a career in jeopardy. But if I must pick a winner, and good Lord, this is a coin flip if there ever was one. I am going with Vin Taylor.
Well, VPOC, what about you?
I've seen what Vin Taylor can do in the ring. I saw what he did to Xander at the ZCW show at the Hammerstein Ballroom. It still haunts me. I'm going to have to go with Vin Taylor.
All right. Now, before we start getting into the interpromotional things, into the interpromotional aspects of Prestige, there is one more World Championship match we have to talk about. And that is, of course, the triple threat match for the UCWL World title.
VPOX, that's you.
Yes, at Prestige, the UCWL Championship will be decided in a triple threat match as the reigning and defending UCWL champion, the Green Arrow, will defend his title against the winner, against the man that won the 20-man over the top rope battle royal back in the main event of episode 23 of Showdown, Light Yagami. And for the life of me, I still can't figure out why he's been added to this matchup. Former ZCW World Champion, Kenny Omega.
I think I know why he's been added to the match, and all you have to do is look to your left.
Yeah, Zahaya.
Look, it is very clear that
we all know you're a Kenny Omega mark.
Well, before we talk about this, let's go back to why Kenny Omega's in this match in the first place.
Right, I was going to get to that. It is very clear, and it is very bright as day. You can look at the replay itself. TPGW Royal Rumble Week. All right, Kenny Omega. All right, in that triple threat match with
Green Arrow and Tony Gordon.
Yes, Green Arrow and Tony Gordon. It is very clear Kenny Omega was not pinned in that contest. Therefore, Green Arrow did absolutely nothing to prove that he was the better man that night. At least not against the best bout machine himself. And so, ZCW, UCWL worked out an agreement where Kenny Omega would fight Green Arrow for the UCW World Championship. For that way, so Green Arrow could prove that he was on at least the same level as the cleaner himself. Obviously, Light Yagami was not something we were expecting, but when you're the god of wrestling, you know, you can make exceptions. And that's what Kenny Omega did. He made an exception. He allowed Light
Oh, I thought you were called the Green Arrow, the god of wrestling.
Ah! Oh, VPOC, you naive fool.
Naive.
Kenny Omega, former IWGP Junior Heavyweight, United States Junior Heavyweight Tag Team, and Never Openweight 6-man and Intercontinental Champion. The man with the highest rated matches of all time, VPOC. His matches are legendary.
So I'm guessing, Zahaya, you're going with Kenny then.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm guessing VPOC is going with Green Arrow.
Yeah, but let me get into my thing. It's Kenny Omega has had great success over in New Japan. This isn't New Japan. Green Arrow has been the UCWL, is the first and only UCWL champion. He won that belt back on our inaugural episode of Showdown all the way back in 2016. And he has carried my promotion on his back ever since. He has successfully defended the title numerous times. He's beaten guys like Nathan Explosion, and he's beaten guys like Yuri Boyka. And now he's going to add Kenny Omega to that list as well, and Light Yagami. I'm not taking anything away from Light Yagami. He did win the Battle Royal back on Showdown 23.
But here's the thing, VPOC. It's not a battle royal, all right? There's no going over the top rope. There's no both feet hitting the floor. It's pin or submission. And Light Yagami is not only going up in there against Green Arrow, the current UCWL world champion, but he's going up against quite possibly the greatest wrestler to ever do it.
Eddie Mack, your opinion.
I want Light Yagami to be Kenny Omega just to see the salt on this.
Well, seems like we need a tiebreaker here. And given the hit,
I want to say this. That was strictly an emotional pick. I just want to see the reaction on those two when Light Yagami beats Kenny Omega for the UCWL World Title.
Well, with that being said, we have one for Light, one for Green Arrow, and one for Kenny Omega. So with that being said, I honestly have to give the victory to the guy who's already won a triple threat between Green Arrow and Kenny Omega.
Oh my God.
I think Green Arrow is going to retain. And I think he's going to do it by doing the one thing he has to prove he can do. And that's actually, this time, pin Kenny. I think the Green Arrow is going to hit a Queen's Gambit on Kenny Omega and get the pin 1, 2, 3.
That's a fool's choice, MTB. You're going to find that out real soon.
Well, with that being said, we have to go ahead and talk about the interpromotional aspects. That is, of course, the Virtual Wrestling United. And before we get into the championship matches, let's go do a quick run-through of the official #1 contender bouts that are going to be set. Obviously, we've got the #1 contenders Fatal 4-Way Tables, Ladders, and Chairs match to decide the #1 contender for the Heart Gold Championship at the next VWU event. It will, of course, be UCWL's Naruto Uzumaki versus CCL's Rick Acid versus the Great D versus, of course, representing in WEDF, I believe it is
Yeah, anticipation is killing me.
Sorry about that. I don't know. It appears...
You're so organized over there.
Well, let's go ahead and move on. We'll get back to the...
Don't worry. We'll have one of the fucking production monkeys cut it out for us.
Yes, we'll that's a cutout. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the official ladder match to decide the next #1 contender for the Queens of Wrestling Championship. A quick run through of everyone in that match, of course. Give me just a second to get my notes out on that. I know.
Should we insert the Jeopardy theme here?
All right. So officially, it's going to be Jerry Sonata versus Cora versus Elizabeth Preza versus Trish versus Asuka versus Jade Hawk. The winner will get an opportunity at the Queens of Wrestling Championship, a 6-women ladder match.
This is like basically picking the name out of a hat because, you know, anything can happen in these kind of matches, you know.
Yes. Yes, it can.
I'm picking Asuka.
Zahai, your opinion?
Look, I'm going to say this right now, and I say this as a man who would normally in this situation would pick Preza, considering the type of role that she's on, and that she is the current Call Stars Women's Champion. And considering if this was a normal match for the title, I would 100% go with Preza. However, I'm going to say this right now, because in a 6-woman ladder match, it's like a coin toss. There's no room for strategy or who's going to have what advantage here. It's just going to be all out chaos. And with that said, I'm only going to say this one time. No one is ready for Asuka.
VPOC.
Well, I'm going to go with the one person that I actually have somewhat of history with, even though you guys probably going to be surprised by this, but I'm going to go with Trish.
No.
You are digging a hole for yourself that you cannot dig out of, VPOC.
And it's not because of any of the crap that you guys spew.
Don't do this, man. Don't go down this road.
What? I'm picking Trish to win. What's wrong with that?
Hey, look, there's nothing wrong with your pick. I mean, if that's your pick, that's your pick. I mean, VPOC, we're just concerned that you're picking her for the reasons we think you're picking her.
No, I'm not picking her to win for those reasons, all right?
Well, then explain your reasoning then.
She's improved. She has
Well,
improved.
Well, with that being said, if we want to talk about improvement, if we want to talk about aggression, which improvement and aggression is the two things that you're going to need, that someone's going to need in order to come out on top in this match, I actually have two different picks. It's either going to be Cora or it's going to be Jerry Sonata.
Great, you can only have one.
All right, if I had to pick between the two, I would say Jerry Sonata.
This is exactly the kind of match Jerry Sonata is not exactly suited for.
No, not at all. She's like more of a a ground. She throws suplexes.
She's a grappler.
Right. She
in
throws.
Every sense of the world. In
Yeah,
every sense of the word.
She throws suplexes. She applies submissions. She taps people out. All right. Ladder matches aren't her thing.
No, but aggression is her thing. And aggression is important, especially in a ladder match. But it's not the only contender ladder match that we have. For example, we have the Heart Gold contender ladder match, where the winner will take on whoever the Heart Gold champion is at the next VWU event. And that match is a fatal 4-way tables, ladders, and chairs match between the Great D, Rick Acid, Naruto Uzumaki, and Duke Ammons.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's ladder match rules, right?
It's ladder match rules.
So again, this is basically picking balls out of. No pun intended. One more time, run that list down for me. I know it's Duke Ammons, Rick Acid, Great D, and
Naruto Uzumaki from UCWL
and ACW.
And ACW.
That's quite. I like Great D.
I have to agree with you. Great D. He's got the experience. I'm certain he's been in ladder matches before.
Yes.
All due respect to Duke Ammons and Rick Acid and Naruto, but the Great D.
And the ladder match will probably most favor someone like a Rick Acid or Duke, or even Naruto. I like Great D.
I agree that the odds seem to be with the Great D. Zaya, your opinion?
I am gonna have to go with Naruto Uzumaki because I feel like, well, the Great D might be a great overall, all-around competitor in all sense of the words, and hey, he's competed in ladder matches before, so good on him on that. I just think that a man his size will probably have a bit of a hindrance in a match like this, where the goal is to climb up the ladder as fast as you can and to grab, the contract. I just don't think he's not the youngest guy anymore by any sense of the word. So there's that. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Naruto Uzumaki. I think he's more nimble on his feet. I think he's more faster. He's gonna take more risk than anybody else in this match. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Naruto.
All right, and finally VPOC.
I can't believe I'm actually going to say this. I'm actually agreeing with Zahaya.
Oh, joy.
And it's not because, and I will admit, Naruto's run at UCWL has not been great. He has not, we have not seen him in a UCWL ring in pretty much a year. Not since the UCWL DCA head-to-head special. But over at ACW, he's a former Impulse champion. He single-handedly got rid of that cancer known as the Jiraiya Insane Alliance. So, yeah, Naruto does have big match experience, and that's why I'm going with him in this one. I'm picking Naruto to win.
All right. Well, now that we have our predictions on that, there is one more contender match that we have to talk about.
That is?
Malik Brown versus Smokey.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's going to be a match.
Yes, it is.
It's again. I'll be honest with you. Before when I found out about this match, I was surprised to learn that this will be the first ever meeting between these two.
Yeah, that is surprising, isn't it?
It is. It truly is. I'm surprised that you've not crossed than I thought they did, but there you go. It's going to be a clash of generations. You got Smokey, who was been around a bit long. He's been around for a decade. You know, some people are saying that, you know, his time's up, his time's running out, his career's coming to an end. But we have seen over the last year or so that has clearly not been the case. It's like the dude's on a resurgence right now. And on the other hand, you have Malik Brown, if you know, for lack of a better term, one of Smokey's proteges, if you will, who in turn has, you know, gone on to a hell of a career himself.
Indeed. Multiple-time world champion, longest reigning DCA world champion.
Right. This is one of those too close to call matches.
But if you had to make a call, Eddie,
and by the way, this is gonna be for a shot. This is gonna be for a shot at the
VWU World Championship.
Yep, sure is.
So Eddie, if you had to pick,
boy, this is a coin flip match, I think. I am going to go with the wily veteran Smokey. You know the old saying, you know, the veteran has taught the protege everything he knows, but not everything that the veteran knows. I think we see something like that in this match. It's going to be a hell of a match. I will say that much.
Zaya, your opinion.
You don't want my real opinion on this match. You really don't. At all.
I mean, if we didn't want your opinion on it, we wouldn't have asked, but
I'm just gonna leave it at this. I hope Smokey wins this match. However, it is not without if they just both beat each other within an inch of their lives.
Okay, try to take the emotion out of it now.
I can't take the emotion out of it. These are two men who have caused me nothing but grief. Have caused me nothing but nothing but pain, and have made my life a living hell as long as I've been a commentator in DCA, as long as I have ran DCW. I have had these two breathing down the back of my neck since day goddamn one.
Well, that's something between you and them. That's something you gotta work out.
So I can guarantee you don't want my honest opinion of this match, because if you did, we'd be here forever. So I'm leaving it at this. I hope Smokey wins. I hope they beat the hell out of each other, and I hope by the end of this, neither of them are ever the same again.
VPOC.
I'm going with Smokey. And I think Smokey's gonna win this match, and that's all. I'm not even gonna get into it because of my.
The salt between you two.
All right. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and not put emotion into this and look at the stats. Look at how the recent careers have been done. Let's not forget, Smokey hasn't been seen in DCA. He's been seen in other promotions at random, but he hasn't been seen in DCA ever since his match with AJ Young.
Yeah, it's sort of went off the grid. I mean, I get that cage match probably took out a lot out of him emotionally, I would think.
Yeah. But with that being said, I'm looking at the momentum. I'm looking at who's got what to prove, who's who's got what to represent, looking at both their experiences, looking at both everything they've done throughout their entire careers. And at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I think the person it's gonna come down to who has more in the tank. And I think that's Malik Brown. I believe Malik Brown will be the one to come out on top. I believe he will become the number one contender and may possibly eventually become the VWU World Champion.
Well, I disagree with that.
The odds are certainly against Malik in this match, but I think that's the case. So, Eddie Mack has had to leave us now, ladies and gentlemen, which means we are going to go ahead and wrap it up with the official VWU title matches. First and foremost is the VWU Queens of Wrestling Tag Team Championships. That will be held between the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Black Widow and Daisy Johnson, and Team Ruby's Yang Xiaolong and Blake Belladonna.
Before we get into this, I want to make a quick saying. And when I say this, whoever wins this match, I will have a petition for signatures and everything to be signed for Shimmer and Shine to get the first opportunity at those belts for whoever wins this match.
Zaya,
sign me up for that!
Well, first of all, we're not talking about Shimmer and Shine here. We're talking about who's going to win.
I know. I'm just making a quick note of that. You continue.
Official opinion. Who's going to become the first ever Queens of Wrestling Tag Team Champion?
I honestly, these are two teams that have never faced each other before. From my knowledge, they're two completely different teams. There are two teams that have excellent chemistry, I can tell you that. We've seen Team Ruby come so very close from winning those Wildcats tag team titles. We've seen the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., compete for the CCL women's tag titles before. This is a very hard match to call, considering just you couldn't call it. It's two teams that have never faced each other before, never had any contact with each other before this match that they're going to be having at Prestige. So I couldn't honestly tell you who would have the advantage going into this, but if I had to harbor a guess, I would probably say the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just for, I think, experience being in virtual wrestling a little bit longer than Team Ruby has. So, yeah.
VPOC?
Now, you see, I'm kind of torn on this. One, Daisy Johnson, of course, is not only a CCL wrestler, but she also wrestles in UCWL. But on the other hand, I wouldn't mind seeing the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. win, but on the other hand, I wouldn't mind seeing Team Ruby win, because I'll definitely sign that petition to have Shimmer and Shine have the first title match, and I think it would be interesting to see Shimmer and Shine face Team Ruby. But yeah, if I had to pick a team, though, I'm going to have to go with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
As much as I respect Team Ruby is in what they do, I'm afraid we got to make this unanimous, because I see the experience coming into play and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming out on top in this.
But yeah. Zahaya, let me know when you have that petition. I will sign it.
Oh, don't you worry. It is coming right very soon.
And while that is certainly the case, I'm not sure if experience will be enough for this next title match, as the VWU men's tag team titles will be on the line, the first ever, as Brian Mayhem and Shaman Mortefera will take on the Samoan Kill Squad. It's power versus experience. And Mortefera's got power too. They've got dozens of championship belts between them in their almost 2-decade-long career. But the Samoan Kill Squad is the Samoan Kill Squad. And as much as I'd like to see TPGW come out with the tag team titles, I got to give this one to the Samoan Kill Squad.
Yeah. This one is just going to be a fight. There's no wrestling. This is going to be a straight-up fight between both teams. I don't know how long that fight's going to go. I don't know how much fighting there is going to be. I don't know how much both teams are willing to give. However, I will tell you the winner of said fight will probably most likely be the Samoan Hit Squad. They came back. They destroyed Andre Barnett and Antoine Wright the moment they came back. It was not a pretty sight. They have been killing anyone and everyone that has been in their way. And I don't think they're going to kill Mortefera. However, I think they're going to get a decisive victory over them. So, yeah, Samoan Hit Squad for me.
Deepak?
Then I guess I'm the odd man out. I'm going with Mortefera.
All right. And moving on, we get to another multi-woman match. This one being the Duo Royale. 8 women in, 6 women out. The final 2 will compete in a one-on-one pinfall and submission match to decide the champion. And it is, of course, for the Queens of Wrestling Soul Silver Championship. We have Caitlin Cunningham representing WFS, Bo Dennis representing UCWL, Alice Andraste representing TPGW, representing WEDF is Trish Stratus, representing AWAC is, of course, Tracer, representing XGWL is Tammy, representing Battle Pro is Jackie Barnett, and of course representing ACL is Chloe Price. Gentlemen?
I'm going with Caitlin. Caitlin Cunningham, all the way. I think it's her time to finally show virtual wrestling what she's all about. I've seen her, very big fan of her, very big fan of how she does things. I think it's her time to prove that she's at the top of the virtual wrestling list with a huge victory over here. And while it may be a battle royal, and those are very, very, very hard to call, I think Caitlin's going to have what it takes. I think she's going to be the most durable in that contest, and I think she's going to win. She's going to win. And I just hope, for God's sake, that she kicks Tammy's teeth down her throat.
Yes. Well, first of all, I'd like to apologize. It's actually Christina De La Vega who's representing Battle Pro, not Jackie Barnett. But that's beside the point, because my pick is actually going to be Tammy.
What?
I think in a battle royal you need cunning, and with no disqualifications, there are going to be some underhanded tactics being used, and that is right up Tammy's alley.
Right. Well, if she does win, I know who to blame it on now. So thank you.
VPOC.
I swear to God, if you guys joke about who I'm gonna pick, I'm gonna smack you both in the back of the head.
No jokes. No jokes.
No jokes.
I am picking Bo Dennis because of league pride, not because of any other stupid reasons you guys can come up with.
Mm-hmm.
It is not funny.
It's not.
Okay.
We're not.
We're not.
Stop. I see the smirks on your two faces.
VPOC, I'm not going to say anything bad about your wife.
For fuck's sake, MTV, she is not my wife. I don't know who started that fucking rumor.
Okay.
Moving on. Then, of course, we got the Heart Gold Championship match, of course, which will be a fatal four-way between TJ Kennedy, JC Wolf, George Alpine, and, of course, Hell's Kitchen chef himself,
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay. I think this one's going to JC Wolf.
I have to agree with you on that one. I think JC Wolf is actually coming out with the victory in this one.
VPOC?
And
well, as much as I would like Ramsey to win a belt win one of the titles for UCWL, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to say TJ Kennedy's gonna win it.
really? And why TJ Kennedy over everybody else, VPOC?
Because TJ Kennedy is, well, I got a feeling I have a feeling he's gonna win this one. That's why. He's been able to pull through in big matches before, and I think this will be no different.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, it has nothing to do with JC Wolf, you know.
Well, with that being said,
it has nothing to do with that.
No, that's what I said.
Well, gentlemen. There's a lot of big matches at Prestige. I think the one that's drawn a lot of attention, as a matter of fact, is this next match that we have to predict, and this is going to be a hard one to predict. The Queens of Wrestling Championship match. Submission only. Nadi versus Akira.
That is a tough one.
I mean, you want to talk about everything that's gone on. Nadi calling out Akira due to her tricks, due to
her demonic powers.
Yeah. Saying that she can't win without him. Akira's got something to prove in this, but Nadi does as well. Let's not forget. Has Akira ever actually been pinned or submitted?
I can't recall.
I think the last person to pin her would be Vanessa Price, probably back at Proving Ground 2. I'm not sure.
But even then, it's like 1 out of 1,000 matches.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It hasn't been since like July of 2015.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of history there. And frankly, it's hard to say. Nadia, of course, being Carmen Cortez, become Queens of Wrestling champion, and now in the toughest challenge ever. And you got to think that this is the one. This is the match that's been building for so long, and now it's here. And I think it's officially time to just straight up say it. It's a submission match. All the marbles are on the line. The Queens of Wrestling title's on the line. I think Akira is going to become the new champion.
Same here. Zahaya, your opinion?
Nothing would please me more than to say, obviously, Nadi is going in this one and retaining her Queens of Wrestling championship. Nothing would please me more into saying that Nadi is going to be the first person to get a legitimate victory over Akira in almost 3 years. Nothing would please me more than that, than to say that. Nothing would please me more than to have this hard working woman who's here day in and day out beat this woman who is constantly here at one point, then disappears for 3 months, and then decides to come back and decides to change up her personality. Now she's talking about we and them like she's fucking Venom or whatever. But nothing would please me more than to say that. Nothing would please me more. But and I know how good Nadi is. I definitely know how good every part of her game is. She's one of the fucking best in the world at what she does.
I mean, she knows submissions too and has toppled giants before.
Yes, she's toppled Pyra before.
Pyra, yeah.
Pyra. She is no stranger to monsters, demons, satanic things, you name it. She's no stranger to that. She is a woman with no fear at all. It doesn't care if it's 1 Akira, 100 Akiras, the whole entire stable of Ashura, or 1,000 Ashuras. Nadi will go through them all without a look of fear in her eye. However, I can't say that Akira is going to tap out. I honestly can't say that. I can't honestly say that she'll submit. I can't honestly say that she'll give up. I can't even honestly say that she'll pass out. I can't see it happening. I'm going through all the scenarios in my head and looking at every single possible way that Nadi could possibly come out a victor, and it's not there. It's just not there. No matter how much I want it to be, it's just not there. Because there's something with Akira, whether it's them, we, Ashura, whatever the heck Indy was trying to do for a while, it's something in that woman's head, in her mindset, in her brain that drives her to do things that no other human being should be able to do, and that is terrifying. She is a terrifying individual, not because of the face paint, not because of the video packages, not because of the weird demons that come out over the video screen every time we see her, not because of the disappearing act and the reappearing act, but because there is something about this woman that doesn't die. And when something doesn't die, how do you truly beat it? So with that said, as much as I would love for Nadi to retain her Queens of Wrestling championship over a woman who seems virtually unbeatable, I can't. I cannot say that. So in that case, I guess it's Akira who walks away new Queens of Wrestling champion.
Unanimous for Akira. The odds are certainly stacked against Nadi. If she does come out on top, it will be the greatest victory of her entire career. Nadi has everything to gain and everything to lose, and the same can be said for Akira. But with that being said, there are 3 matches that are going to be dedicated to this scenario, guys, at Prestige. Between 16 different men, 2 different pinfall and submission battle royals. Let's just go ahead and go through the names. Zack Stone, Dante Styles, Tommy Kazarian, Extreme Tony, Arcan, Gorilla Black, Mil Muertes, AJ Styles, Kevin Cash, Tommy Ventura, Nathan Explosion. I mean, the list goes on and on, guys. Matt Phoenix, of course. Bradley Reynolds. Soul Reaper,
Okay.
and of course, everyone in this match.
I get where you're coming from with this, and I know what matches you're talking about. Let's slow our roll real quick. We'll start off with the first Battle Royal. How about that?
Well, that seems to make sense. I mean, you want 2 representatives from each league, of course, in this match. And this, of course, is where the first I'm sorry, where the first contender for the VWU championship will be decided. I mean, Zeus Alexander and Soul Reaper representing WFS. Kevin Cash and Tommy Ventura representing TPGW. Bradley Reynolds and Matt Phoenix representing CCL. And Nathan Explosion and VPOC. Who is the other competitor in this Battle Royal for you?
Christopher the Saint Samuel.
Christopher the Same Samuels. I mean, you want to talk about these 8 men. The winner of this match will be the first one. This is the main event of night 2, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Winner goes on to the final night to compete for the championship. Who comes out on top in that Battle Royal?
For me, anybody but Tommy Ventura.
Oh, for the love of God.
For VPOC.
That wasn't the question.
That wasn't the question, VPOC. Who wins?
Who wins? As much as I would like to see one of my guys win, I'm going to have to go with Matt Phoenix.
Zahaya?
I'm going with Nathan Explosion. I saw that match he had with Green Arrow, his last opportunity for that championship. And I saw a man who gave everything in his power to win that title. I saw the fire in his eyes to win that UCWL championship. I saw something in him that I've never seen at him during that point in time in his tenure in UCWL. I saw a man who wanted to be champion, who wanted so badly to become champion, but it wasn't enough. He didn't have enough in the tank. Green Arrow had just a little bit more. However, this time, I think he's finally going to find within himself the thing that wants to be champion, the thing that wants him to be the man, who wants him to win the VWU championship. I think Nathan Explosion is going to find that within himself. He's going to win this Battle Royal, and he's going to become one of the participants in that title match.
And while that is certainly a good point, Zahaya, I think that the person to win this Battle Royal, not necessarily the whole kit and caboodle, he can, but I think the person to win that Battle Royal And there's two reasons behind this. I want you to know before I say this name. One, it's because every time this person seemed like this person was going to, get knocked down a peg or not make it all the way. This person has done the absolute best to prove all the critics wrong, every single one of them, and come out on top against some of the toughest odds he's ever faced. And the second reason is because I want to see the rage in V-Pac's eye when he wins. And my pick is Tommy Ventura.
No.
You son of a bitch.
No.
I think Tommy Ventura is either gonna go all the way or just win the Battle Royal and make it to the final two.
You can't honestly believe that.
I believe that 100%.
Tommy Ventura.
I think he is a future world champion, and his first one may be the biggest world title in all of virtual wrestling.
I don't know what to say other than you're wrong, and just hope for God's sakes that you're wrong.
Well, with that,
I can't believe I'm agreeing with Zahai again.
With that being said, we do have a second Battle Royal to talk about, and the winner will face the winner of that Battle Royal. Extreme Tony and Tommy Kazarian representing XGWL, Gorilla Black and Arcan representing Battle Pro, Zack Stone and Dante Styles representing DCA, and Mil Muertes and AJ Styles representing ZCW. And I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. In an 8-man situation, I'm putting my money on the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Well, for me, I gotta go with, it's either going to be one of two people in my opinion. Like I said earlier, I picked Matt Phoenix to win the first one, so I think it would be really interesting to see if Tommy Kazarian would actually win the second one, and we have a battle between Future Foundation for the VWU World title. But my second pick, if he doesn't win, I am going to have to go with probably one of the most insane competitors I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, people that, like, individuals this man's size should not move or do the things that his man does. So my second pick will obviously be the world's strongest man that gravity forgot, Gorilla Black. And I see Zahaya in the corner right now, and he looks like he's about to freak out.
Zahaya, your opinion?
You're still amazed he can do a 630, can you?
That will never get old, ever. I still don't know, like, it doesn't make physical sense when you think about it. Nothing, science can't explain the things Gorilla Black does. However, as it goes with this Battle Royal, I'm going to agree with MTB. I'm going to say AJ Styles, and sure, you could go on how that's a ZCW thing, but really, you look at it, AJ Styles, it's not just ECW. He's a wrestler. He's a wrestling dude. He's been everywhere. ROH, New Japan, WWE, you freaking name it. He's got the most experience out of anyone in this contest. He's been in almost any match type you can ever think of. Honestly,
look at AJ Styles. He's so good that no matter where he goes, no matter what he does, he becomes the face of that organization, even if it's only for a short time.
Exactly. And it's like, how do you count out? He's a literal ace in every single place he goes. And I don't think VWU is going to be any different. So, yeah, AJ Styles. So, I guess that leaves us with one more match.
All right, so, VPOC, who are your two picks between the two Battle Royals?
I picked Matt Phoenix for the first one.
And the second one was either a toss between Tommy Kazarian or Gorilla Black.
All right, but if you had to pick between Kazarian and Black, who would it be?
Kazarian.
All right, so VPOC, between Tommy Kazarian and Tommy Kazarian and Matt Phoenix.
The Battle of Future Foundation.
Who wins?
Now, you see, that's a tough one. Future Foundation's one of my favorite tag teams. But if I had to pick between them, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go with Matt Phoenix to win the VWU World title.
Zahaya. You had AJ Styles and Nathan Explosion.
Yep.
Who wins?
Like I said earlier, Nathan Explosion, as a guy I saw within him after that match, a man who wanted to be champion, a man who so desperately wanted to be champion, who I believe is going to be willing to fight with everything he's got to become VW World Champion. However, I still don't think that's going to be enough against the phenomenal AJ Styles. I think AJ wins the Battle Royal. I say that he wins the match against Nathan Explosion, and I say the phenomenal one becomes her first ever VWU champion.
And I agree if it comes down to Tommy Ventura and AJ Styles as well. Ventura, he's got a lot to prove, he's got a lot to gain. But AJ Styles is AJ Styles, and at the end of the day, I believe the phenomenal one's going to come out on top in this. And if he doesn't, Dante Styles is going all the way, baby.
Oh, Josh, shut up.
But with that being said...
That was not the way I wanted to end this.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the VW Prestige Prediction Show. See you guys at Prestige. And remember, the future is united. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while.